In the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most beneficent. Assalamu alaikum, dear students. I hope you people are fine. I'm your teacher Saima Tanoli with the 12th lecture for Civics, and today we will be doing chapter number 3, the state. In this we have done so far, that is the origin of the state with different theories. Today we will be doing the social contact theory of the origin of state. Open your book on page number 44. As we know that the state emerged as a result of covenant or an agreement, it is we can say that the state actually turned into a civil society, and through an agreement or a covenant किसी मुआहदे के ज़रिए स्टेट को एक सिविल या सोसाइटी को एक सिविल सोसाइटी में तब्दील किया गया. Hindu philosopher Kautilya writes in his monumental book Arthasastra. He says that the king, that is Manu, was elected to be the king or by the people as a result of a social contract. यानी जो बादशाह बनाए गए थे और जो भी किंग बनता था वो एक सोशल कॉन्ट्रैक्ट के थ्रू, एक मुआहदे के थ्रू अमंग द पीपल. वी हैव अ मैन कॉल्ड हुकर एंड Hugo Grotius, who are the most prominent European scholars who supported the theory in their writings through an argument, but not very convincingly. The theory, however, found scientific exposition in the writings of two Englishmen, and they were Hobbes and Locke. And we have a Russian also, that was Rousseau. These three gentlemen, they are collectively known as Contractualists, as they believe in this theory of social contract. Now, these contractualists divide human history into three distinct time periods, and they are a state of nature, that is a stateless society in which everything is under the command of nature, and human nature is in a way going according to its own desires and its own compulsions. Second is the social contract, that is through a contract agreements are made and then governments are established. The civil society or the state in which through a social contract we come to have this civil society. The three philosophers agree on one point, and that is that state is a deliberate human creation. Basically, what it was believed that state is not the culmination of a process of evolution or growth, it is a deliberate human creation. यानी इंसान जानने बूझते दानिस्ता तौर पे स्टेट की क्रिएशन करता है. ये एक एवोल्यूशनरी या एक प्रीवियस प्रोसेस नहीं है. So we have this theory, and in which first of all today we will be discussing Thomas Hobbes. Thomas Hobbes, that is the year 1588 to 1679. Thomas Hobbes served as a tutor of King Charles II of England, and he was a supporter of the king and wanted him to be entrusted with unlimited अथॉरिटी. वो चाहते थे कि किंग को इतनी ज़्यादा इख्तियारात दिए जाएं जो कि अनलिमिटेड हों. देयर शुड बी नो लिमिटेशन फॉर दैट. ही wrote a famous book Leviathan in 1615, and he wrote this book with the purpose to provide a philosophical basis to the institution of absolute monarchy. एब्सोल्यूट मोनार्की को एक फिलोसफिकली अप्रूव कराने के लिए, एक स्टेटस देने के लिए उन्होंने ये बुक लिखी. एंड ही वॉज इन फेवर ऑफ दिस वी कैन से अनलिमिटेड अथॉरिटी ऑफ द किंग. Then we have the state of nature. What Hobbes says, he says that man in the state of nature was selfish, and he was quarrelsome, झगड़ालू था, जंगजू था, and aggressive. So he was having these very we can say negative aspect in his personality that he was self-centered, he was only concerned about himself, and he was ready to fight any time. He was warlike and he was aggressive. He followed self-interest and disregarded the interest of his fellow beings. किसी की परवाह नहीं थी. He was not guided by intellect or reason, but by appetite and passion. That is, when we talk about intellect or reason, we talk about things when we are thinking, using our thinking or our intellect or our intelligence, and we are taking decisions rationally. हम सोच समझ के फैसले कर रहे हैं, जज्बाती फैसले नहीं करते. But in that case, in this theory or the state of nature, the man was ruled by his appetite and passion. Passion is when he was only thinking about his feelings and his hunger. Without a sense of right and wrong, he fell upon the other with savage ferocity. Ferocity means when very brutally or savagely we are doing something. So that is ferocity. Like hungry wolves, everybody was ready to devour the other. Might was the only right. So this was what it was happening, that people were like hungry wolf, भूखे भेड़ियों की तरह, without any kind of feelings or emotions or anything, or any kind of rationality, any kind of thinking. People were damaging or hurting each other. So in that case, they were basically having this theory of might is right, that whosoever will be the strongest, he will survive and he will rule. At the same time, under such conditions, what happened, that there were no security of property or life. People were indifferent, that is, they were not bothered about the other. They were unconcerned and unconnected to each other. They were in a perpetual continuous state of war with each other. Throughout, people were having this war going on, and they were following this policy or this theory of might is right. It was a war of everybody against everybody. In the words of Hobbes, life in the state of nature was solitary. Solitary means you are all alone. जैसे solitary confinement होती है, वो जेल जिसमें बिल्कुल तन्हा छोड़ा जाता है बड़े बहुत बड़े मुजरिमों को, ताकि वो उनको एक तरह से मेंटली उनको वीक किया जाए. Then it was poor, life was poor, solitary, nasty, brutish, that is savage and short. So what happened when you are fighting all the time, and at that time your life will be at stake. जब आप हर वक्त हालत जंग में होंगे तो आपकी ज़िंदगी को भी ख़तरा होगा. So this was the nature of a state at that time, what Hobbes perceived or what he saw. So what was required, that was the social contract. That is, men could not tolerate this state of affairs or this state of insecurity for unlimited period of time. इंसान बहुत ज़्यादा देर तक हालत जंग में नहीं रह सकता. इंसान को सुकून और अमन की ज़रूरत है. He decided to get out of it. The state of nature was thus substituted with civil society. So there was a need of this civic sense and how to behave and live in a society. That was the requirement. So इसका जो एक substitute लाया गया, नेमुल बदल लाया गया, alternative लाया गया इस state of nature का, that was a civil society. एक civil society जहाँ पे लोग एक तहफ़्फ़ुज़ में, एक अमन और सलामती में रह सकें. So for that, what was required, a social contract was made, as a result of which common authority was established. और एक common authority establish होगी, जिसके through एक social contract के through what will happen, people will be having this common authority which will be guiding them, which will be protecting their rights and providing them safety and security. The contract was made in these words, that is, I authorize and give up my right of governing myself to this man or to this assembly of men, on this condition, that thou give up die right to him and authorize all his actions in like manner. That is, we are surrendering ourselves, our rights to this specific person who will be the sovereign, and likewise everyone will be doing this thing, and after that we will be having this civil society which will be ruled by a sovereign who will be looking after us. So what happened? The person so authorized to govern them was not, according to Hobbes, a party to the contract. That is, whosoever will be the ruler, we will not be a party to this contract. So what happened? All these people, they surrendered all their rights to him unconditionally, without any debate or discussion or any kind of conditions. They surrendered to this sovereign who will be looking after them. So what happened? What the contract says, the sovereign was not a party to the contract. आपका जो हुक्मरान होगा वो इस contract की पार्टी नहीं है, वो उसका हिस्सा नहीं है. He will be only looking after your affairs. Sovereign's authority was absolute एंड अनकंडीशनल. उसकी जो इख्तियारात हैं वो हर तरह से माने जाएंगे, फॉलो किए जाएंगे, और उस पर कोई कंडीशंस नहीं होंगी, कोई आर्ग्यूमेंट नहीं होगी. द कॉन्ट्रैक्ट वॉज इर्रिवोकेबल. और ये जो सोशल कॉन्ट्रैक्ट किया जाता है इन अ स्टेट, तो टू एस्टेब्लिश अ सिविल सोसाइटी, इट विल नॉट बी, नो वन विल बी बैकिंग आउट फ्रॉम इट. इसको वापस नहीं लिया जाता. People did not have any right against the ruler, and at the same time जो लोग हैं, they will not be using any kind of right against the ruler, as he will be not a party to the contract. All rights were surrendered except the right of self-preservation. That is, no one can harm you, no one can hurt you. In that case, other rights विल बी सरेंडर्ड. आपके जो बाकी हकूक़ हैं वो आपने अपने सॉवरन के सामने सरेंडर कर दिया, मगर राइट ऑफ सेल्फ प्रिजर्वेशन, जिसमें आपकी अपनी हिफाजत और अपनी सिक्योरिटी भी आती है, उस अपना आपका वजूद और एग्जिस्टेंस है, वो आपके पास है. सॉवरन्स अथॉरिटी वॉज अनलिमिटेड. उस कोई लिमिटेशंस नहीं है. इनएलिएनेबल, दैट इट कैन नॉट बी ट्रांसफर्ड टू एनी वन. irrevocable, it cannot be flourished or stopped. And indivisible, again it cannot be divided. दो sovereign नहीं होंगे, एक ही होगा, क्योंकि if we divide sovereignty we destroy it. Sovereign command was the only source of law. That is, whatever the sovereign will give the command, आपका जो head of the state होगा या civil society का जो head होगा, sovereign होगा, उसकी command जो है वो एक source of law है, that is to be followed. Now the evolution of the theory, what we have evaluated from this theory, that is, Thomas Hobbes is subjected to bitter criticism on the following grounds. He says that creation of fanciful mind है. आपकी जो social contract theory है, it is basically a creation of fanciful mind. As man by nature is social, he has never lived without society. And a pre-social, pre-political state of nature seems to be the creation of a fanciful mind, that man cannot live alone. He need to have people, and he need to have different opinions. किसी एक ख़ास बंदे की जो अथॉरिटी है और जो उनकी अपनी एक क्रिएशन और या थिंकिंग है अपने बिहाफ पे ख़ुद से की हुई, that is not possible. Other is sudden change from a uncivilized society to a civilized society. That is not possible. It takes time. It takes years and years of transferring the human nature from uncivilized society to a civilized society. It cannot be done suddenly or immediately. It is unbelievable. How could a society of hungry wolves have decided to transform itself into a civil society for no apparent and convincing reason all of a sudden? एकदम से लोग जो इतने savage थे, uncivilized थे, and they were like hungry wolves, how come they can be turned into a civilized society or civilized nation in a day, or with a magic? That is not possible. It takes time, and it is a evolutionary concept. Other is, that is deliberate social contract है. Again criticism आ रहा है, especially to this theory of Thomas Hobbes, that history absolutely bears no evidence to prove the reality of Hobbes' deliberate social contract. There is no point that how can a one-sided contract can be made. Like it is said in the next point, a contract is always concluded between two parties. A one-sided contract like the one Hobbes has talked about does not appeal to a reason that he gives in a way जिस तरह वो किंग को एब्सोल्यूट monarchy absolute authority देते हैं and he is not party to a contract. एक contract की वो party भी नहीं है, उसमें वो उसका हिस्सा भी नहीं है, तो how come we will be having one sided contract के सिर्फ लोगों का ही है, उन्होंने ही अपने rights सरेंडर कर दिए हैं किंग को और किंग को के अगेंस्ट कोई राइट नहीं हो सकता. सो दैट इज़ नॉट पॉसिबल. अनदर थिंग इज़ lack of knowledge about the state. That is, Hobbes' philosophy makes no reference to the state. वो स्टेट को एक्सप्लेन नहीं करते, उसका कहीं रेफरेंस नहीं देते. ही टॉक्स ओनली अबाउट द सिविल सोसाइटी. मोस्ट प्रोबेबली ही डिड नॉट हैव एनी क्लियर कॉन्सेप्ट about the institution of state in which every component of the state is functioning. Every component of the state or organ of the state is answerable to each other. There is a kind of coordination and reciprocity between all the organs of the state. It is not possible that only one-sided effect will be there and only the people will be giving their best. The king and the sovereign is also there and he is also answerable. So with this we have the evolution as well of the theory, in which if we sum up we can see that Thomas Hobbes was of the opinion of unlimited monarchy, जिसमें वो किंग को ही हर तरह से बाइख्तियार करना चाह रहे थे और उनको हर तरह की अथॉरिटी और पावर देना चाह रहे थे, which is to some extent it is not possible, because again we can say that the king is also the chosen person from amongst the people. Then how come he can be free of any kind of questioning or any kind of accountability? This is all for today. If you have any question or anything which is not clear, you can ask me. Learn these points about the evaluation and the features or of the nature of state, as they will be helpful for your lengthy questions. Inshallah, in my next lecture I will be giving you the test for chapter number 1 as well, in which you will be doing the first 5 questions, that is the first 4 work pages questions, that is MCQs. We have the fill in the blanks, match the column and true false, and the short questions. These from these 5 questions you will be given the test, and that will be on Tuesday, on 25th of August. And the thought for today is, never stop learning, because life never stops teaching. This is a quotation from by Buddha, we can say. He was a person that was a philosopher. He was a mediator, spiritual teacher and religious leader who lived in ancient India. So thank you and have a nice day.